Cheers.
Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
And we are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, where we dye yarn and do all sorts of things. So,
Smoothies.
bit of a mix-up setting up. Somebody knocked over my smoothie onto my iPad. And I will point out that I was more worried that the smoothie was going to destroy my Tiny Chef sticker than I was that it was going to hurt the iPad. Because the iPad's in a cover, so it's fine. The Tiny Chef was not protected. She has been banished from the room for now, though she probably will be back. So, okay. All right.
She just wants to see her public.
I know. She and her tail need to make their appearance. It's been so hot recently, she doesn't want to come near us. Okay. You guys, do you know somebody's already finished their cowl? We just released it.
I was going through the Ravelry group and I'm like, oh my god, somebody's done the crochet. Also, just shocked me.
Yes.
She has joined the thread, the Ravelry thread. So if you're doing the crochet cowl, the designer has joined the thread, and you can ask her questions. She's being very generous with her time and helping people out with things, and saying that if you're getting the curve when you first start, she got it too, so don't worry about it. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Jumping in and answering questions. Since neither one of us can help with crochet.
I know, we're terrible. Well, we're not terrible. It's just we're not crocheters. So
but it's such a pretty cowl that I'm kind of contemplating.
Yeah, she left us a comment on the podcast too, saying that she was so honored that we picked it, and it's one of her all-time favorites. So she's really getting excited to see what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's very cool. Okay, a couple other questions and comments. CD said, did I miss the 10 gram mini listing, or is that still coming up? That is still coming up because we're still dyeing it.
Yeah, we kind of worked out all the colors yesterday, so over the next week or so we're going to dye them up.
Right, and as we hit that color in our rotation, we're throwing the minis in to dye as well.
Yeah. So it's going to be 10 colors, 20 cents.
Right. However, I will give you a tip that there will be a new mini set on Friday in Friday's update.
But another one that's minimal
right
availability.
We have to count them up to see exactly how many we have.
It was one we did before we
found out about the crisis.
The great mini crisis of 2020.
So stay tuned, but there's going to be something coming. Okay, Bernadette says, I know you both have tried many different crafts. Have you ever tried paper piecing quilting? I've just stumbled across this craft and was intrigued about how transportable it is. She's presently searching her public library for related books and checking out podcasts. Okay, I do want to say check out The Last Homely House East of the Sea, or it may just be The Last Homely House now. I know she changed it recently, but if you put in The Last Homely House podcast, it will come up. She does have a whole bunch of things that she does with the English paper piecing. And I have seen her work on it as she's chatting, and I haven't gotten there yet.
Tula Pink does a lot with English paper piecing.
Yeah, check her out too.
So check her out because her colors are just so vibrant, and she has some gorgeous, gorgeous quilts that she's done. And I know that they're quilted. There's one of an elephant that is just fabulous.
It's all English paper piecing?
Well, I don't know whether it's English paper piecing, but it's paper piecing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what the difference is. One of them you do with the hand stitching.
Okay.
And one you can use your machine.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure the elephant uses a machine.
I'm pretty sure the English is
paper piecing.
The hand.
Right. I just haven't gotten that fine detailed yet. Yeah. I want to just get a handle of
12
here's a square. Put it together. See if you can get those corners to match.
Right. I have seen people do it though, and it's true. It's very portable, and it's a great way to use up smaller pieces.
Yeah, and I love the look of the hexie quilts.
Also,
that they do with it. So.
I will say that we have a tremendous amount of Tula Pink fabric that we've somehow magically appeared in our house over the last couple of weeks.
It's like so the Tula Pink elves just
the fairies came and gave us Tula Pink fabric. So we do have Tula Pink. I tend to go, I don't like a lot of little colors all over the place. I like bigger squares or
Right.
bigger hexes or that kind of thing, where you can get a bigger view of it. Too many littles together gets kind of chaotic in my eye, but that's just me. So, but yes, I have seen it, and I have been intrigued by it, but not enough to actually start it. Susan Gerbosi says, cake, cake, cake. Cake or death. Oh, if you haven't seen that, it's Eddie. Oh, what's his last name? Eddie Izzard doing Cake or Death, especially when he does it with the Star Wars Lego sets.
Yeah.
Check it out on YouTube. It's hysterical. Anyway, she said, would you do a tutorial for first-time Hank purchasers on how best to load the Swift or Swift alternative and which order to cut the ties and hold the yarn in place, etc.? Okay. We can try.
We will do.
Yes. There you go. She is the videoer and editor, so what she says goes. Okay, I'll get that later. Dinah Duel says, do you ever consider eating before you podcast? Yes, but then we probably wouldn't podcast. Because at the end of the day, when we sit down to relax, we like to relax and be done. So we have considered it, but it doesn't fit in with our schedule the way we like to do things. So you just get to deal with us being hungry. Besides, for the most part, people realize it's a joke. So Donna Baum said that she once had to leave a job because she cried in front of the principal. I used to have a principal who would come in and take a look at my classroom, and her favorite saying was, there's a place for everything and everything in its place. I wanted to tell her that the sign of a messy desk was the sign of a clean mind, and the sign of a clean mind was the sign of the sign of a clean desk was the sign of a messy mind. But she was a nun, and I was afraid of her. So I did this.
I had one once where they promoted someone ahead of me, and he was male, and they were trying to.
Was he the one that parroted you?
No.
That was something else.
This was when I was up in Persephone, and they were very condescending in trying to explain to me, and I was just sitting there, and I couldn't say a word because I knew as soon as I opened my mouth,
Yeah.
I was gonna burst into tears. It was because I'm an emotional female, but I didn't want to add that.
I know, right?
So,
and that was a while ago. So that was,
that was what, yeah. I mean,
women have come a lot further in the construction and property management company business than they were then.
Yeah.
But you were a groundbreaker.
And he was such a tool, the one that they. And I lasted longer than he did, but it was just.
It's very frustrating.
Yes.
Very frustrating. Okay. So we did some dyeing this weekend. We're starting to fill in colors. So there will be a part of the update on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be letting you know which colors we've been filling in and let you know what's available. Waiting on the mill as far as sock toed base, but we do have the 100% superwash, so we are dyeing in that instead. And that is really nice.
It's a nice hand feel, and it's slightly plumper than the nylon.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it
squishy.
very much. Yeah. And I was going to say something. Oh, we're getting ready for the Fiber World to get ready for our booth for that. So that's coming up. We got an email from somebody from SAF. They're trying to put together a Facebook group.
Okay.
To go instead of SAF. So that's coming up in October.
Okay. And we still haven't heard from New Jersey. Don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Moving on to happier thoughts. Shall we talk books?
Sure.
Okay, so we are going to talk about May's book, which was the Vampire Knitting Club, and July's book, right?
Right. Which is Cinder.
Cinder, right? Like, what did I read? I have it in my Goodreads, but sometimes I forget. And we both have started August.
Yeah.
Which is the Bookman's Tale. Mm-hmm. And how do you like it so far?
Good. It's got my attention.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I'm only like 15 pages.
Okay.
So not very far. Nope. Nope. You don't have a say. Okay. So let's start with May, the Vampire Knitting Club. What
Okay.
did you think?
I think I liked it more than I thought I was going to. Actually, that works for both the books. You are much more of a cozy mystery person
Yes.
than I am. I enjoy mysteries, but few and far between.
Oh, I love
Mary
them.
Beth can just go through a whole series. So I did. I enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be more fluffier than it was. It was actually fairly well written and fun.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I have just finished the second one too. So,
And I will go and read them. So
right, and there are a whole bunch of them, and I think they're on Kindle Unlimited.
yeah,
so
there's
that
a
we
new.
can get them.
I mean, I know she's got a new one coming out soon. May
Okay.
have already come out, but this year. So yeah, I enjoyed it enough.
So the basic premise is that Lucy, pretty sure it's Lucy. We're gonna go with Lucy. Lucy comes to Oxford to visit her grandmother and finds out that she is an archaeologist and she was working on a dig, and she finds out that her grandmother died several weeks ago and has been turned into a vampire because her grandmother owned a knitting shop, and the vampires would come and sit and knit with her after hours when all the regular patrons were gone. So that when they found out that she had died, they turned her into a vampire. And Lucy discovers that her grandmother was actually murdered, and so she is trying to figure out who murdered her grandmother.
And also decide whether she wants to take over the knitting shop the way
Right.
her grandmother asked her.
So the whole thing revolves around the murder of her grandmother, and it turns out that she is a witch. She didn't realize she was a witch, but she's a witch. So that's why her grandmother gets along so well with the vampires. And a cat shows up. I love Nyx.
Yeah.
Nyx is the cat, and she shows up, and it turns out that's her familiar. So I kind of think that maybe Dudley and Tabitha are our familiars
Yeah.
because we found them in the garden and everything. Only my familiar doesn't like me very much.
Tabitha put a note into Human Resources and asked for a transfer. Her person is broken. So anyway, and Dudley told her no, she can't be my familiars. She's stuck with you.
She's stuck. She's getting better. I must say that since we got down here, she's gotten much better.
Yeah.
I think it may be that I'm much more relaxed down here. But anyway, so her familiar shows up, and she's learning that she's a witch and what that entails. And there's a love interest or two, because one's a vampire and one's a police inspector. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's light, but it's fun.
You know, it's okay to be light and fluffy if it's well written.
Right.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know,
And well, and not even also well edited, because a lot of times with some of them they're just cranked out so fast that nobody edited it.
Right.
And it's just like, oh come on, really, you could do better.
a lot better. So no, really enjoyed that one. So I recommend that. I was a little unsure when I started it because I started it right after the Nightingale, and it was just so different.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get into it, but then I moved right along.
Yeah, I had that problem to begin with the Bookman's Tale because I finished Cinder. I went right into the Bookman's Tale, and Cinder is a future cyborg, and the Bookman's Tale is Shakespeare.
Right. And you start
However,
off,
we're both dealing with the plague.
right, and then you're going back and forth in time and stuff,
Yeah.
and you're going really far back with the Bookman's Tale. So yeah. Okay.
However, we're dealing with a lot of books that have the plague.
I know it's a sign. So if anybody hasn't read it yet, it's The Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren.
And if you have
that's it.
Kindle Unlimited, it's part of it, so it's free.
Yeah. Okay, so on to July. July we did Cinder, which is part one, or volume one of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. And we tried to do different genres, different types of books. For this year, we're trying to not just do all the same thing, trying to really touch on different bases. And I gotta say, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, I mean, because we're just all over the place. We've been pretty good. There are only two. There's only one I didn't finish. There's one I haven't started, but I'm planning to start it.
Right. Yeah. No, the first one, the Lies of Loch Lamora, I did not finish, and I read the synopsis of it, and I'm very glad I didn't finish it. So. And
the Bromance Book Club, that was just
pure fluff
and poorly written.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think we've done pretty well.
Yeah.
And jumping all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the thing, that we wanted to do different things.
Yeah.
So Cinder is a retelling of Cinderella, but set in the future, after a plague has hit. It's like post-apocalyptic. It's in New Beijing, China, and she's a cyborg. So, there. Go read it.
It's actually very good. I didn't think I was going to like it because cyborgs and that sci-fi type is generally not my thing. However, the Brandon Sanderson and then this one.
And maybe changing your mind.
Well, you get a well-written one, and it's not, it's actually pretty good. And I enjoyed the whole, seeing how far she was going to take the whole Cinderella parallel.
Because it is not a direct retelling.
Right.
But it definitely is Cinderella. And they're the lunar people who live on the moon, who can do magic, who tie into it. And there's the emperor and his son.
There's the ball.
There's the ball.
The stepsisters.
Although one of them is really good. The evil stepmother. What she did to her robot.
Oh, that was just her android. Or not her droid. Her droid.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah,
that was just really, really terrible. There's a hint of almost Star Wars in there. There's more than a hint of Star Wars in there.
There's a lot of Star Wars in there. Yeah.
There's a bit of Star Wars in there. So it's a very unique retelling.
And she doesn't have the fairy. She's her own fairy godmother because she gets her chariot and she figures out the gown. She loses her foot, not her shoe. So yeah, no, and I like the more empowered Cinderella, not the I'm gonna wait for the prince to come save me. I'm gonna go save the prince.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I did enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure the second one brings in Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, so it's Scarlet, so it's Red Riding Hood.
There's a whole line of
continuing the story.
Right. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't end with this one. It continues on. It
and
ends...
Rapunzel shows up in Cinder, and I think she gets her own book later on. But
okay. Anyway, Helen, you downloaded Scarlet, didn't you?
Yes.
So we have the second one to read now, and I know there are a couple more. Yeah. So it'll be very interesting. I do like the fact that she ended the story in a place where it ended the book. It's not like a cliffhanger waiting for...
You know that there's more, but it's not like, oh, I need the next book now.
Right. It ends so that you can continue on. So yeah. Good choices.
Mm-hmm.
I like them both very much. So yeah. Go read them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Bookman's Tale by Charlie Lovett.
That's what we're doing for August.
And eventually we'll discuss The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware after I read it.
I finished that one. But Helen has to do that, so just have to wait for that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, that should do it till tomorrow.
We are off to Montclair to see my mom.
Let us know in the comments if you read either one and what you thought of them.
Yes.
And good or bad.
I did see that somebody said that one time, one book that made her cry, and a couple of people have come back and answered her too. The Prayer for Owen Meany, which I don't think I've read.
I don't think so either.
But a couple of people...
I was wondering if that was the one you read when we were driving.
No, that's from... the that's something else.
Okay.
Yeah, they both. Or actually, I think 3 people have said that how much they loved it.
Yeah.
So that's something we'll have to keep an eye out for. All right. That is it for us.
Yes. Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy. And
we'll
hopefully
be
tomorrow.
coming to you from a tropical storm.
So tomorrow, should we show cross stitch tomorrow?
Yes.
Finish.
I do not.
And I have a start. And wait till you see what I start. So we'll see you tomorrow with cross stitch.
Yes. And yeah. Okay.
All right.
Now that the landscaping has started.
Time to go.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Go forth and create.
Yes. Have a wonderful day.